Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Spooked Coast to Coast. And we are Jen and Mondo 305 Paranormal. Joy will not be here this week with us, but she's going to be tuning in, so you'll see her in the chat room a little later.
Yes. Everybody say congratulations to her. She is a new grandma.
Grandma,
so
again.
That's why she's not here.
Yes. So congratulations, and I hope you and your family, the best with the new baby coming into the world. So
yes,
awesome. Wish you guys the best. And also, I would be remiss to start this episode without wishing nothing but the best to all the folks that are up north dealing with the natural elements, if you will. I hope all you guys are safe. Check in with your family, make sure that everybody's safe up there. And wishing you guys nothing but the best as well.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I know even as north of Florida, anywhere near north of us, you guys are dealing with snow and storms, and I appreciate you guys tuning in and being here with us on a special episode.
Yes, and babe, please tell the good folks about the guests that we have coming up.
Thank you.
Yes, it was my birthday. Thank you very much. Yes. I turned 42 years old on Friday.
This past Friday, yes.
Babe, so why don't you tell the good folks about our guest that's coming on now that we just found out is a New England Patriots fan. Yes. Backstage, and the New England Patriots will be going back to the Super Bowl. So please tell the good folks about our guests.
Yes, so today we have Father Bob Bailey, is also known as Paranormal Padre, if you know that reference.
That's a cool name.
Yes, is a Roman Catholic priest skilled in spiritual warfare and in deliverance ministry. Well-versed in angelic and demonic, Father Bob is founder and director of the Holy Sword Apostolate, I hope I said that correctly, and is a consulting priest for the New England Society of Psychic Research, or better known as NESPR. He is master's in theology and was ordained priest in 1993. So he has been honored and privileged to work closely with the late Lorraine Warren, in addition to Michelle Belanger, which I love her, Coffey and Ryan Buell from Paranormal State. Let's welcome in Father Bob.
Father Bob.
Hey.
Father Bob, thank you.
Hey, how are you?
For being on with us. We appreciate you dedicating some time.
You. Yes, thank you. And I know you're battling a storm up there also, but hopefully not too bad, and your Wi-Fi is doing good so far. So
yes, it is. Thank God.
Yes.
And Mondo just gave me the best news that we're going to the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yes, and Father Bob is thinking that the Seahawks will win the next game between the Seahawks and the Rams. Excuse me.
It's not a psychic prediction, though.
No, that's what he feels. That's what he feels. We both feel the same. It will be the Seahawks challenging the Patriots again, a Super Bowl rematch.
Yes, exactly. I kind of think it's going to be the Seahawks. I don't know if that's a psychic prediction or not, but maybe I just like them because of the colors. But that is one of my favorite colors in the uniform team. So
well, at least we're pretty sure they don't have that same coach anymore, so they won't be throwing when they have the most dominant running back in the NFL. They won't be doing that again. Hey, Bill, how's it going?
What's up, Bill? I just mentioned you backstage a little while ago. Bill Slevin says hello.
There he is.
Yes.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yes. Thank you. Everyone is saying hello. Hello, Father Bob. Thank you guys for being here. If you're cold or if you're warm, like South Florida, we appreciate you guys all. And I know you worked. Oh, wait, I lost my comments. Okay, here we go. I know you. Oh, Asia. What's up, Asia?
Asia. Thank you.
Hello, that's my manager and my friend.
She's great, man. I cannot wait to meet her. And we're going to the New Orleans Paracon.
I will be there
too, right? Yes. So we're gonna meet you in person.
We're gonna meet you in person. That's awesome.
Yes. I cannot wait. So we're very excited for that.
Yeah. It'll be a little hot, but
it's gonna be. I know. Well, we've never been. Oh, but I heard it's pretty bad time, but it's gonna be
Is it like Miami hot?
no,
Or?
like I heard it's like hot.
Oh,
At that month, hot, but
Yes.
conditioning.
It's gonna be pretty bad. So I wanted to also since you work with Nesper and the folks at the Warren Museum very closely, and I know you're good friends with them. In remembrance of Dan Rivera, I have my Dan Rivera shirt.
oh yeah.
That this was an item that Elton had carried out for a donation for his family.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So I wore that. I love the saying. So
Yes.
Yep.
Rise above fear. All right. So to start, how everybody else always starts, how did you choose to go down this path of ministry, or like what led you to that in that direction?
Well, growing up, I always had a like for the supernatural, and especially like with ghosts and even like the paranormal, even though I didn't understand it as the paranormal at that point. But that kind of was latent because I didn't have any other friends who were into that at all. But I was into the supernatural in that I was brought up in the Catholic tradition with apparitions of Mary and the saints, miracles, and things of that of that ilk. So I was always open to the supernatural uh, and spiritual warfare. My mother had a cousin who was a priest, and he and I used to talk week after week at my grandpa's house next door, and he taught me about spiritual warfare, about the reality of evil, the devil, the saints, and things like that. So I was understood that at a young age, and when I wanted to be a priest, it was something that I felt that I could do to win people over from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of light. So it wasn't a great leap of faith believing in the supernatural to believe in the paranormal, because what is the paranormal? It's above the normal. So miracles are paranormal. So it wasn't until I became a pastor years later that I started watching ghost hunters, and I really started getting interested again and excited about that whole notion of the paranormal and of spirits and even demonic. And then one of my parishioners said, if you like uh, ghost hunters, you're going to love Paranormal State. And I said, what is that? They said, go check it out on A&E. So I did. And I really liked Ryan's approach because he added faith to the whole thing. And that's when I really got my big break as far as taking what I believe, what I prepared for with spiritual battle, and made it real, because we became instant friends. I wrote to him, he wrote back. I went to go meet him in Massachusetts, and he asked me to help him on the case. And it worked out really well. And so I began a relationship with Ryan and Paranormal State. So I got to go in with that. And because of that, I got a lot of local requests from people. And so I had to form a group. And so to deal with the paranormal. And usually what happened was I would be in contact with investigative groups. They would call me and say, look, we think we have a demonic case or a dark case. And then I would go with them and then at that point do the spiritual battle. So that's basically how, in a nutshell, how I got into it. But it was something that was always in me from a young child. Like I knew by early teens, I felt a calling to good versus evil in the spiritual battle, which isn't most priests, experience of wanting to be a priest, but that was mine.
Interesting. I think so you knew from like very young that there was something more, I guess, while other
Yes.
people are not thinking about that, You kind of feel
Yes.
that. That.
Oh
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Being that there are skeptics in religion and in the church, right? So,
Mhm.
well, somebody in your church approached you and told you, but how hard is it to bring that up in like the church community for people who don't believe in that, or they say like everything's bad instead of both the good and evil.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's something I've learned to like. Okay, tread water, tread lightly, and like I don't talk about it with people that aren't interested in it or aren't open to it, but many people are. And I'll talk with them. And in fact, I have two Facebook pages. One that I don't deal at all with anything like paranormal or spiritual warfare, and the second page I do. And it's for that reason. So, um, it's over the years it's gotten easier, but in the beginning, like other people in the church, other priests and stuff, kind of looked at me like I had three heads. Still
Yeah.
do,
I get
but
it.
that's okay. That's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind it. Um, but I remember one priest, had an issue with a family that he really liked and believed. The child had activity and stuff going on with him, and who did they call?
There you go.
So, yeah. But so that's and the diocese had called me for a couple of cases, in the past too. So, you know,
Yeah,
they're
like
aware.
let's say when we have like people who are obviously they're go to church religiously or every day, or even I'm Catholic. I grew up Catholic, so I've always felt I don't think it's bad that as far as doing the paranormal, because to me I feel like I would have more faith in the divine, and then there's a higher power, and something good. You seeing both sides of the coin with the bad spirits and good spirits. So what I was thinking of, like, what as for paranormal investigators, like how or what would you say to people who, I guess, make it look frowned upon doing this type of work, especially if we're going out even helping people? Like I don't get how we get judged, like
Right.
you know.
I think it's because there's a misconception and there's also divided belief. Some people don't believe that there's a possibility of ghosts, period. That it's all evil, all demonic. Obviously, I don't I don't go down that road. I have prayed about it, studied it, and even Jesus in the Gospels after his resurrection, when the disciples saw him, they thought it was a ghost, and which obviously the ghosts were part of the belief back then. That's what it tells me. And when Jesus said, "Look at me, touch my hands and feet, and see that I am not a ghost," because a ghost has no flesh and bones. Well, Jesus never gave up a teachable moment. So if he wanted to say there's no such thing as ghosts, he would have, but he didn't. So that spoke to me that there's a possibility, you know.
Yeah, and I think in the Bible, there, I mean, there's not mention of ghosts exactly per se, but um, getting messages from spirit and stuff like that, and in a good way.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And I think the confusion is from the Old Testament, and what our faith what our faith forbids is conjuring,
yeah,
and for good reason. And so that was the whole thing with Saul and the witch of Endor in the Old Testament. Now, when a investigative group goes in, or when I've gone in, I don't go in and conjure something that's not there. I'm trying to find out, and that's what and investigators try to find out if there's something already there and what
right,
it is. That's different. It's
Mhm.
far different than sitting there with a Ouija board or summoning spirits, which is extremely dangerous, and not what my faith tells me that I should do with good reason. So that's the difference. It's misinformation, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when I explain it like that, then a lot more people understand the difference. And with spirits, this is the thing. You can be sometimes for some reason there's an anomaly where people have not crossed. Now I say this: God gave us free will. Do we carry that free will into the next world? I believe we do.
Hmm.
So at the moment of death, if we say, I don't want to go, I don't want to go right now, does God honor our free will? Why not? You know, so that possibility could be there. And if souls are already with God, then they're not bound to space or time. They can be at two places at once. So they can be with God and also be over us, just watching over us. And there's so many instances of that people have after a loved one dies. So we can't, it's hard to deny that, you know.
Yeah.
So if that's true, that's a spirit, you know.
Yeah. Actually, and that funny that you mentioned that, because that was one of my very next questions was, as far as for let's say house hauntings, how would you determine if a case is demonic in nature or a human spirit that's haunting?
By its fruits. Now, if it's a human spirit, they're not gonna religious provocation is not gonna repel them. They're not gonna get angry. If you mention the name of Jesus, if you mention scripture, if you mention the name of our Blessed Mother, they're not going to react negatively. A dark spirit will, because it's pure evil. So you're going to get a response from them. That's the biggest thing. And by the fruits, you know, if they're causing harm or they're trying to cause harm, a spirit isn't not going to do that. They might try to get your attention, and it might seem like they're antagonizing you or doing something, but they're just trying to get your attention for some reason, maybe to give a message or to for help, for prayers or something like that. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. That I was just at the Warrens Museum. I went for an overnight to see how Elton and Matt did with the bed and breakfast, and it's beautiful. But we went over to the museum, and I had we had a tape recorder, and so I did religious provocation in front of Annabelle and in front of the shadow doll. The worst response, the growl, blood curdling growl when I mentioned the name of Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary, and you could hear it. And so, yeah, so you know that there's something there.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't like that. Wow. That's well. I have more questions on that place later. I was gonna say, what are your? Well, actually, you mentioned that too. So you think that spirits have a choice, or human, souls when they pass, they have a choice to stay or not be stuck, but they have a choice to stay if they wanted to, right?
I don't know if it's a choice as much as God's permissive will, because the norm is you go, and we believe Catholics heaven, hell, or purgatory, and so that's the norm. For some reason, it's an anomaly where a person has unfinished business or maybe died so tragically, and we don't understand why. But yeah, and I believe that sometimes they're afraid, because that's when I've gone in and to get information to get uh, that they would say, I'm afraid, and then you just try to tell them, don't be afraid, don't be afraid, go to God. God forgives you whatever you think you've done. So yeah, I don't know if it's a choice as much as an anomaly that happens, and God allows that for a time.
Well, what are your thoughts on? So, say in some house cases, right, that we've seen or heard of, or I've seen myself, people
Mhm.
that have their loved ones' ashes there, and then they'll get like experiences. Do you have any thoughts on that? Like, is it good to maybe keep somebody's ashes at their house, or does not?
I believe that the person's remains should be buried in consecrated ground. That's my belief. Um, I do know that people have gotten activity in their house that they don't like,
Yeah,
and the ashes are there. I said, well, maybe because they shouldn't be there. Bury them in consecrated ground, and I think you might have an end to that. I just had a case. Funny, I was talking with James about it, and yeah, I think that may have, that may be to do that. It just, when when you're separated like that, and everybody gets a piece of the ashes and all that. I don't know if I know it's just the body, but still,
mhm.
there's a time and a place where they should be, and I just think that it should be in consecrated ground, awaiting the resurrection.
At that point, do you feel like they're truly not resting if they're not in ground?
I don't know that, but uh, I do know that if people are having problems, then maybe that's the solution, that the soul itself wants its body buried, because
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure that was their belief when they were living.
right.
That they would be buried, and that's it. And then their loved ones decided to keep them out. So that might be. But as far as it's only. I mean, that's not the person. It's just, the person is no longer in that body. Their soul, is on the journey with God. So I wouldn't say that they weren't resting in peace, but they may not be happy with the situation.
Got it.
oh yeah, true. Because what if something they don't like something going on in a house, and then they're there also, that
Mhm.
could be a thing
That's
too.
true.
So yeah, you never even think about that.
Consider, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Um.
reminds me of that. Was it Christmas Vacation or whatever, when they knocked the ashes on the ground and they started vacuuming it up?
Oh yes. Vacation.
Uh, Not Christmas Vacation. That was
European Vacation? No.
Oh, I think it
I
is
think it's
European
European. I think
vacation.
it's
Yes.
European because I know it's
Yeah,
not.
it was just funny. It was just so funny.
Yeah,
That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah, that's terrible. Don't do that.
I love those
No.
vacation movies.
Yeah, those vacation movies are we love them. We watch them all the
Yeah.
time. That's a great. Well, I was gonna say you hear. Well, I wanted to say people always hear the negative side of cases, and just like the scarier part. But can you speak on any more of positive or angelic cases or experiences that you have experienced yourself working?
Um, hmm. Yes. I would say there was a case that we worked on in Paranormal State, and it's the episode called Church of the Damned. We're in this old church that wasn't used anymore, and there was a negative spirit there. There was some kind of a demonic spirit, and at one point, they have monitors monitoring the heat and all of that, and Chip started saying the prayer to Saint Michael. As soon as he finished that, said, "What do you think about that?" It The heat thing just rose like unbelievable. You could see it at that instance, and I really believe that what they captured was an instance of an angelic intervention of Saint Michael,
Mhm.
because even the tech people say it doesn't jump. I forget what it was. I think it was the heat. It was so many years ago, but the heat index or whatever, that it just went up far beyond what it should have or could have. And I got excited. And I think, well, I said on the show, but I don't know if it made it with the editor's cut, that we've have an intervention of an angelic spirit. So that was one of them there. Yeah. The only other thing I can say is when I went on the Annabelle tour, towards the end, the last few places, I put up my own table with saint relics and other type of relics, religious relics, and wanted to do a display of positive paranormal phenomenon rather than just all of the negative and scary ones. It was an experiment, and I thought, oh, I don't know if people would really want. They're probably just going to bypass that and run right to Annabelle, But they
No,
didn't.
I would stop there.
Yeah, of course.
I would love to see that.
Oh yeah, and they did. I had, a splinter of the true cross, and I told them what happened with that. Oh yeah, I could say that. Sorry, my mind. I was at a house that had a demonic spirit. I brought the relic of the splinter of the true cross, and when I brought it into the room where the demonic spirit was, there was a REM pod, across the way. I held it up for blessing. At that point, the REM pod went nuts and shut down. And the tech guy said, "Father, we just put fresh batteries in here."
No.
So people were fascinated by that,
Right.
It took all the juice. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so I said, you know what? This is in my war chest. This is a keeper. And then I brought some blood from Padre Pio, who he had the stigmata. And I have a little drop of blood from Padre Pio. And that was Lorraine's favorite saint that she always called upon to help her. And then I had stones from the cave of St. Michael in Italy. And St. Michael appeared there and said that the stones would be protection. And finally, some oil from an icon picture that my friend had created, and it began to weep oil. And it wept for a long time. And I captured that oil, some of that oil, and brought it with me. People were fascinated. And they said that they could feel the warmth, they could feel protected going there. And some of them needed to go there after the Annabelle and the Shadow Doll and all of that, and I would pray with them with the relics. So it worked out really good. And I see that I need to take this on the road. I need to really teach people in the paranormal world about positive paranormal.
Yeah.
So
what is the oil? Now that you mentioned the oil coming out of it, like when other people mention that with other statues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do you think why oil? Yeah.
I don't know why the oil, except oil is used for anointing for sick. I don't know, but I know with this, my friend created it, and she used the Russian style. She was mentored by a Russian Orthodox, and they don't use oil. They use everything from the earth. So there was no oil to begin with. So for the oil even to be there was a phenomenon, because it wasn't used. They used eggshell. They used, she used all different things from the ground, roots and stuff like that for the paint of the icon. And I will tell you this, when I was at 𝗡𝗘𝗏 𝗪𝗏, I have a picture of the weeping icon, to show people. And all of a sudden, this one of the guys from Nesper, he was Jewish, as a matter of fact, he goes, "Why is this thing wet?" And I said, "I didn't touch it." I said, "It's been over there." He said, "What?" I said, "Well, what is it? Is it water?" He said, "No, it's not water." So three of us felt it. It was oil. And you could see a spot where the oil was coming from. And it's like, okay, this is a picture of the picture that went. And then within 10 minutes, completely dried up, and you would never know it was there.
Wow.
Should have taken a picture of it. Well, who knows? But it was an amazing phenomenon. And so I told my Jewish friend there, I said, there's something to this, isn't there? He said, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That
was another.
We do have a question what are your thoughts on residual energy? Asks our friend B.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of residual hauntings, if you want to call it that, particularly in places like castles, like in England or Ireland or whatever. There's famous ones of apparitions of ghosts, and they happen at the same time in the same place. And so what it is like a film of energy of whatever happened in that place. It's phenomenal. It's amazing phenomenon. So it doesn't interact with you because it's not intelligent, and it's just there whether you're there or not. It's going to happen. So it's a phenomenon. It's not so much. I mean, it's a ghostly thing, but it's not an intelligent spirit. It's not a soul.
Right.
It's just
Do you think
reliving.
do you think they're say they're doing that? Do you think they're like on the same living maybe like a parallel realm beside us and they're just doing their own thing, or
Not so much. I don't know. I just think it's something that's just permanently there for whatever reason got imprinted. And I think we'll come to know it probably many years from now as
yeah.
things develop. But right now we don't fully understand what that. That's why the paranormal realm is so interesting, because we never have you can't someone can't say I know everything, because they don't. We're still learning. We're still learning, and that's the beauty part of it, you know.
Yeah, definitely. He said it repeats on a cycle and it blows his mind, which
Yeah,
we all find it interesting as paranormal investigators, because how you said we'll never know until
Yeah,
we get there one day, I guess.
we can theorize and go down
yeah.
rabbit holes, but we don't know a concrete answer. Yeah.
No, it's kind of up there with the aurora borealis or whatever. It's just
Yeah.
a unique phenomenon that happens that we can appreciate, you know.
Perfect. He said could it have something to do with the quartz on the ground? I would think
Mm.
like
What's on
like clear quartz, like natural quartz grows in the ground.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got a question?
So
Go ahead.
going back to Paranormal State, was there a particular episode that was your favorite that you were a part of, besides the ones that you mentioned, or it was?
I was very fortunate to be in any of them, to be honest with you, because I really respected Ryan, because one thing I can guarantee you, because I wouldn't be on it if it wasn't, that nothing was faked, and he was very 100% client oriented on the show, behind the scenes, everything. So I mean, all of them were favorite, but I think the most formidable one where I worked with Lorraine and Chip, and it was the return of or the I Am Six, rather, with that
I
girl,
remember
because of the phenomenon. In fact, I was on Ryan's show, a webinar, and he showed me part of that I had forgotten, that the bed shaking and everything. It's like, oh my gosh. I said, I had forgotten about the bed shaking. So yeah, that one I think was formidable, because Lorraine actually said, we're going to go out and ask people in the neighborhood to pray with us and to come with us and hold candles. And I'm going, I don't want to go out and do that. But with Lorraine, you can't say no to the Mary Poppins of the paranormal world.
yeah.
So I'm out there going, oh God, I feel like we're knocking on a door, but you know, but it was good. It was good. I think we did good there. I think we did a lot of good for the girl. So,
I used to love that show, and I know
oh,
a lot of people saying it in the audience that they love that show too. Joe said
it
he
was
started that
real.
show. I loved that show when it came
It was real, and yeah, I enjoyed everyone that was on it. Katrina and Heather and Josh, all of them. And what was also fun is he would have these, instead of paracons, he would have field trips, and it would be with us, and it would be at different places, locations, and we would just have fun. Like when we went to the Stanley Hotel, it was right around Christmas, so we had a Halloween ball one night. It was fun, and I would give a teaching on spiritual warfare and all of that, and and the people really came. They really resonated with it. So that was the one thing. It was fun. We did good for the clients, and there was an alternative. And because some shows they'll go in, they'll investigate and say, "Oh yeah, your house is haunted," and that's it.
Yeah.
We showed Ryan knew where to go to get the help. If it was psychological help, he had psychologists, people on staff. If it was other kinds of things, like he helped. There was resolve in that show, and that's what I appreciated.
Yeah, that's very good. Super important for the people who need the help, because you pack up and leave, and then they still got to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you did you have anything ever affect you in your life or at your home after an investigation or helping someone at their house?
Not really, because I do protect myself afterwards, and that's what I try to teach people in workshops, in talks. In fact, I'm in the process of trying to write a workbook for paranormal investigators based on my experience. And some people like Asia and James, they really kind of pushed me to it. Say, write a book. I don't want to write a book. Well, how about a work? Well, I'll write a workbook. So I'm starting that now, and that's part of it in there, is
Awesome.
to make sure that you protect yourself before and after. It's important. In fact, when I was working, my former group was called PWSM, and my partner Robin and I came up with a thing about taking holy water, taking a few drops of holy water, putting it in your drinking water, and drinking it before we went in to a case.
Yeah.
And then drinking it afterwards. And it's like having holy water, but you're taking it, internally
Right.
for a blessing. So no, but other people have, they've had to pray with them. So, I've had, like when I've got back, some things like all of a sudden go wrong and all of that. And it's like, this may be some fallout, but nothing really like that attacked me physically.
Gotcha.
Thank
Yeah, because
God.
sometimes good. Yeah, because
I'm not
sometimes
saying it won't in the future. I'll say that now. Watch, I'll go the one that'll happen.
yeah, no, don't blame me. It's not my fault. Because sometimes like spirit knows when someone's going to help them, and then sometimes the people that are going to help those people, they'll have something happen at their house or try to deter them from helping that family or whatever. So I was just curious if you ever seen anything like that.
I've seen it, but I've not experienced it yet. But I will say that if any of the groups are groups that are helping people with the negative side, you're marked.
Oof.
You're known and you're marked by the other side.
And you think that'll go across like for that
like, in other words,
case,
with
or
threats,
like in general?
with threats, because
Yeah.
of the work that we do. So you got to be super careful in your life. You have to have a faith life, and you have to pray every day for protection. I pray every day for protection. I do many prayers of protection, but I need it because the other side knows, and that they're not nice about it. They don't take prisoners. You went into their realm and helped a person out of it. They don't forget that.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Like we've done some residentials or even cleansing ourselves, or our buddies like in paranormal community, like in during investigations, and if it's something that's dark, they don't like that and they try to stop you. But I think, like I said, I fully believe you have to have a strong faith and a strong mind to not let that affect you and just continue trying to help that person.
Correct. And to be honest, to take an evaluation. Now, if you run into, as a paranormal investigator, helping someone, and you find it's a dark entity, a demonic entity, then you've got to stop and evaluate. do I have the means internally and faith-wise to fight this thing? And if you don't, then be honest with yourself enough to say, I need to get someone that will. There's no shame in that. It's just being honest, because if you don't have that, you could do more harm than good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And you're no match to a dark entity.
no, you gotta have a higher network for that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Move that case.
Yeah.
Sell that case to somebody who would know more, be versed in that. Do you have any
Exactly.
cases or experiences that you can share that
Yes.
was wild you, that it was like, whoa, that is serious? Oh, I don't know if we lost them. Can you hear me, Father Bob?
I'm going on probably with my router here. I can't see
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys.
Okay,
but
you're
if
good,
you
you're
can
back.
me, that's fine. There you are. There you are. Yes, there was a case when I had PWSM with my partner Rob, where we went to a case initially in a convenience store in Massachusetts. We did battle. We got the the entity out, but something followed my partner Rob to his house, and that was not a pretty picture. And it became very personal to me because they're my friends, the whole family. I'm very close to them. So it took on a whole different venue when it's someone that, that you're emotionally and, that you're close to. And that was formidable. That was formidable. Another one I could tell you, we got called to a Worcester area, somewhere around Worcester, and we got called there. So I went with my partner Rob and his wife, who was our case manager. And she used to love to, I've told this many times, she used to love to drink iced tea. All of a sudden she went, this tea smells like urine. So we go, what?
What?
So my friend smelled it. He goes, it does. And now me going, yeah, right. I smelled it. This does smell like urine. So I remember telling them, what are we in for? When we got into the house, there was the guy's girlfriend, the client, the victim there, sitting on her bed or kneeling on her bed in a pool of urine.
Wow.
So I went, oh crap. Over 2 hours, nothing. Then I realized she started to, no, I think this is a demonic demon possession. So I had to stop right there, evaluate. I'm not in the position right now to do an exorcism over a person. I don't have permission. I'm not mentally, physically, spiritually prepared right now to do that. So I had to stop. And I called the bishop of the diocese, who thankfully knew me and I knew him. And I told him about it, and he was able to send an exorcist over. So, but it was formidable.
Wow.
Those two cases were very formidable for me.
I think it's crazy how they can have something manifest like that, something so wild. You're not even in the house yet, and
Exactly.
know.
Exactly. Now, the other one about the convenience store, that actually, Animal Planet picked that up. So it's called The Haunted, I believe, series. That was on Animal Planet. And it's called Demonic Seduction. Demonic Seduction. You can see. And we actually got activity on tape, and they were able to get, so there was a candlestick that moved. We heard the siren, that demonic thing that screams. You can hear that in there. So we have some of our evidence that was captured on there. So it's called Demonic Seduction. If you can get it on YouTube, it's all about that case.
Well, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask, well, I have a few questions, but during a paranormal investigation that you have witnessed, what was a piece of evidence that was gathered, either like how you had mentioned with the REM pod, that it completely killed the juice from the battery? Was there another piece of evidence that you can recall that left you wowed? Is there a particular piece of equipment that you're like, oh, that's a cool device? Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite is an 𝗛𝗚.
Ovilus, yeah, that's solid.
I do like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shows. I don't watch some special, on YouTube, but I love Project Fear.
Oh, we love Project Fear
we
too.
love them.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
this is a big shout out. I want to meet them. Asia's supposed to work on it.
Yeah, take me with you.
Sign us
Yeah.
up.
I mean, sometimes I want to, as I'm watching the show, I want to slap them and say, "Don't do that," But I love them. But they have that SB whatever thing. It's like I want that. I want that because I have gotten a little bit of, of feedback on it. So.
Oh, you're talking about the SB7, the one that's
SB7.
the radio device with
the one that costs like $1 million. I could never afford it if I tried.
Oh, DR?
The DR60?
The recorder? The digital recorder?
Oh, no. I said I could never afford the SB7.
Oh, the SB7. Yes.
But, however, the simple Panasonic digital recorder, that was amazing. It was amazing at the museum just, recently and what it caught. So that wowed me.
Yeah.
A lot of times you can get it and not get any responses, but yeah, this one did.
Oh, yeah,
I just wish I have a copy of a copy, so you can hear the growl, but you can't hear me as much. So I'm trying to get someone to clean it up, to use in my teaching.
Yeah.
While doing or working with, say, like Lorraine, like she was a medium. Do you ever find yourself doing this? Have you? I guess would you consider yourself had been more sensitive, or you find yourself becoming more sensitive during all this?
That's a good question. Normally, I am not a medium. I am not a sensitive person. No, per se. No, I'm just saying per se, because people say, "What do you feel when you go in?" Don't trust my feelings because I don't. But I will say this: as of late, sometimes when I go in, I can feel the heaviness. I can feel the cold. Yeah. Whether it's because of the openness and whatever I'm doing it, whether I am getting more sensitive to what's going on, I don't know. But it's not something that I can control at all. So, I could go into a house and it could be very haunted, and it's like I don't feel anything, or I could go into one that people don't feel anything and say, I feel a foreboding in here. So, but yeah, to answer your question, yeah, doing it as of late, yeah, sometimes I can sense things, but I wish it's just something I can't control. Like
you don't know what
like a real sensitive can.
Father Bob, going into that, and being that you have worked with Lorraine and Chip as well, what are your opinions of psychic mediums and their work? There's some that they use their gifts. There's some that use tarot cards to do readings and things like that. What is your opinion on them?
My personal opinion, Lorraine was a medium, but when I asked her about it, and I think it was the one time I met Ed years ago, it was either he or she that said it's discernment of spirits, and I said, "Oh, okay." So Lorraine used her sense of that, as a discernment. I believe that there are people that have gifts from God, that can sense, that can discern good from evil going in there. And they acknowledge it as a gift from God. So I don't so much call them mediums or psychics, but I call them gifted people. Predicting the future, no, I think that's dangerous, and there are certain things that in my own personal faith that I would not do, is the tarot cards, Ouija boards, seances. No, because the latter two are conjuring methods that can be very dangerous. And people just playing around with a Ouija board, not knowing, really anything about it. You're playing with fire. Even with seances, you're playing with fire. You can think that Uncle Matty's coming in, and it's really Beelzebub. You know,
Oh, gosh.
and opening portals. So yeah, I do believe that there are people who have true psychic abilities, and I believe it's a gift from the Holy Spirit. They acknowledge that. Um, and I say this because I have friends who that I really respect, but profiting off of it, I don't know. I don't know. You know,
The gifted should be using it to help folks.
right? Like for instance, when I used to go in to do all of this, I never charged. However, if I had to go a long distance, in justice, yes, for mileage, or if I had to stay somewhere, I don't have the money from books and, like Lorraine and Ed never charged for anything because they would get all their things from their appearances and all that. So they had a pool to work with. I didn't. So, I found that, but doing the work itself, no, no, I wouldn't. If people wanted to make a donation, I said, if you want to make a donation, fine. You can do it so I can continue to buy religious medals and other things like that to give to people,
Yeah.
Yes, that's good.
We have a question. So that's Chaz, right?
Yeah.
Chaz, so she asks, I would love to know your thoughts on helping people get rid of darker issues, but after the clearing, they don't change their root issues, or cause, and the entity or another entity comes back.
That is a great insight, and something that needs to be said. Yes, sometimes people treat us like we're magicians. Go in, poof, and then leave, and we can go back to our life the way it is. Sadly, that's not true. And it's like someone that gets a serious illness. Okay, they have to change their life after that. They have to take medication. They have to change maybe their eating habits or some other type of behavior. And they have to do that as a prescription so that the thing is kept in check or goes away, it doesn't come back. It's the same way with this. Once evil has touched you in your home, there are things that you have to do, and you have to have a faith. So you're going to go back to practicing your faith to keep that at bay, because the Bible says that if you don't keep your house clean, it will come back and with worse, and the condition will be far worse than the original. So yeah, you have to make some changes. You have to have faith. um, you have to be positive. Positive is love, and positiveness does so much,
Yeah, I agree.
to create a good home that that the demonic can't stand to be in, because
Yeah.
the demonic hates love, it hates anything positive, and also light. And I tell people, you know what, make your room brighter. Don't, if it's dark, and a lot of them have darkened stuff, open the shades,
Yeah.
put light in, play some positive, good, soothing music. It creates a nice atmosphere. And then I tell them, if you have holy water, sprinkle it around every now and then. You know, it's a good thing. But that's a great question, and that's vitally important. Was what I call the prescriptions after the battle.
Yeah, I think that's good because, like you said, you go in and help, and then they go around and turn around and do the same thing, and you're
Yeah.
not helping anybody. You're not helping yourself. You're not helping the cause, the time and effort of somebody went in to help you, and
I went to a place that's now become famous, and they asked for help. I went there and I did the whole cleansing and all this, and I told them to bury. I have the Saint Benedict medals, and I told them to bury it in four corners of the property to protect the property. It was just something that Lorraine taught us. And they asked for help a second time. I got back there. The medals were in the same place I left them.
Oh no.
So they hadn't done anything.
They haven't done anything. Oh my God.
So I told them, you got to do this happen again. And then I said, I'm not going back a third time because they're not, they're not, I don't know what they're looking for, but they're not willing to do the prescription. And so
V has there ever been a case you couldn't help because of the people going back? That kind of basically answered your question.
Yes, that right there.
Right there. Wow.
Yeah, if you're getting help and you have to do your part. You don't do your part.
And now the demon is still in that house. It's a famous house, and it's okay. So
wow.
Joe knows. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, being a priest or the how would you call that? The consulting priest for the museum and for 𝗛𝗏𝗄, have you ever, I guess, experienced anything negative there with so much of
not
anything like all that stuff there?
Not there because again of the protection. But I will say one thing: when we went traveling and they had the traveling, museum, I was in Gettysburg. This was a couple of years ago. And so I was going in there before everyone in and blessing and binding the spirits to stay where they were. When I started to do that, I started getting really dizzy and sick. So I had to leave the tent area. So I did. And then I prayed for a while and then I was fine. I went back in and I finished it. But yeah, that was a marked time of that. As far as in the museum, no, the museum right now, when you go there, it's Elton has it so well ordered. I mean, it's amazing. Like there's so many stuff, and before it was hard. I used to get overwhelmed looking at everything, but he has it in such a way that you can walk around easily, and of course, because they let him in there to do an investigation, and you could just see everything so much better. But no, I never felt. I always felt protected. Even when, because I don't go in there and I did religious provocation, but I don't mock the items. I know better than that. Like you don't play around with that stuff. Like I'm not going to go to Annabelle and say, I don't believe in you. You're nothing. I never would do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to poke the bear, pretty much.
No, I have enough respect for the power of what it is that I'm not gonna do that. And binding, yes, because that's my role and it knows that. So
I like well, you've been there obviously plenty of times. I don't know how people don't get affected being there. Maybe even if they're more sensitive or whatever. Like
some do, I'm sure.
Like I'm like, how can you sit there like that?
I'm sure some do.
Yeah.
In fact, they had made where the old chicken coop was, I believe, they made a little, if you want to call it a chapel or a prayer space in honor of Dan.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, it's very pretty.
In fact, I was the one that blessed it before it went. And it's a safe space where people can go in and go there if they feel really overwhelmed. And Elton has put enough crucifixes and holy things in their house. I went, oh my gosh, even Lorraine never had all these crucifixes everywhere. A beautiful statue of Our Blessed Lady, and it's like, wow. But it's to give people, security when they're there. So, but yeah, I'm sure there are people who feel that. In fact, I know that some people can get overwhelmed. But there's a vehicle, there's a place to help them. There's plenty of holy water if they don't steal it. But yeah.
We have a question, but
it's about the
museum. Just to piggyback off of that too, it kind of has like a negative connotation, like or people are scared to go because of that. But I just feel like there's so much history there that I think it's important for what it is that we do to go there, just to be in in that environment just to learn more, just to see and
See all the
visualize what
things.
that is, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I mean, the best is yet to come. I'm going to tell you that, because Elton and Matt are finding a new place for a state-of-the-art museum,
Yeah.
Oh,
because of the fact the general public can't go in like in groups like that. You can't
Yeah, with the
because of the
neighborhood.
zoning.
Yeah.
So only the people that are in there for the weekend, or for the overnight at the Warren's house can go there right now. So yeah, it will have much more of understanding. They found so much. I mean, Lorraine and Ed never threw anything away. So they found so much that can help.
I watched their video updates online, and they
Yeah.
have so much neat stuff, and he's
Oh,
bringing more
love
stuff.
letters between them. I mean,
Oh,
it's amazing. It's amazing. So,
I think it's very nice.
and I got to tell you, my pet crow right now is the negative stuff that people are saying because they want to buy the Conjuring house. Well, I hope they do, because you know what? They will do it right. And my prayers to Saint Joseph is that they are able to buy that piece of property, because they just it's amazing what they're doing for the legacy of Ed and Lorraine. I mean, they could have had someone buy it and just turn it into a regular bed and breakfast and redone the whole place so you wouldn't notice it. No, they gave respect, and they're going to do the same thing if they ever get the Conjuring house.
Yeah.
So that's they'll do it right.
So we have a question, and V, I'm sorry I didn't ask that question, but I didn't want to let go of that point that I was going to make, that is a historical location.
Yes.
V asked, I have a great question about the museum. Could you breathe the first time you ever walked in there?
Because he said he felt really,
They went
the
to
air was
investigate.
pretty heavy.
Yeah, and it was.
No, I didn't. But maybe some people are more, susceptible, and everybody's experience is different. So I wouldn't discount anybody's experience. Yeah, some people have felt that. I know that. But that hasn't been mine at all.
Got it.
I do know one thing, which was interesting. When Sam and Colby went in there, I happened to be there on the property. I was doing a podcast for with 𝗛𝗏. And so I kind of prayed over them before they went in that time. And then I think it was Colby that came out and said, I guess on the obelisk, he said, they called your name 3 times. I said, really? He said, yeah, Bob, and then Father Bob. I said,
Oh,
okay, well, that's fine. That's not the first time. Every time we do the obelisk and I'm there, my name gets called.
yeah.
So, okay. But what they didn't realize at that point is when they went in, I took the rosary and I started praying the rosary for them outside the museum.
Yeah.
And that's when my name came up. So it was interesting.
I actually saw that it was when they filmed and they aired it. I did see that because who was the one that was planning the whole time? Is it Sam?
It was Sam.
Sam, that he had like his idea of what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I know Colby was not into that.
Yeah.
And he didn't know anything about that.
Right.
And I was so
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're praying. So all that mix going on. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it was a cold night when I was outside. It was nice because Dan and I were sitting out and we had a nice, great conversation. God rest his soul. But that was a fun night.
That's good.
That's why I like Sam and Colby and how we were just mentioning Dakota and his team. Well, we kind of like that because the paranormal investigation and we have to investigate and take it serious while we're there. But to kind of like joke around a little bit here and there, I think it kind of like breaks the tension as well. That's what we enjoyed about them. And then we got a kick out of seeing in one of the investigations that Sam and Colby did. we had wrote our name on the wall of a jail that they ended up investigating.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we paused it and we're like, man, we know this place. We paused it and bam, our name is right behind Sam when he went to go do a shot. So we got a trip out. Yeah.
Yeah. That's here in Florida.
Here in Florida, yes. They went into 2 separate jails at the same time. And yeah, Sam is on the phone with Kobe. Because Kobe got stuck with the handcuffs, and Sam ended up having the key to the handcuffs, and they were in separate jails about an hour and 45 minutes away from each other.
They're not that close.
So, but yeah, that was so cool to see that. Now, going back to the whole like cool, funny investigators. Now it seems like Matt Rife is getting into it, and everybody likes him. I've seen a few of his comedy specials, and he was in a show way before that with Nick Cannon. That it was a funny show. So just to kind of bring it back to nowadays, now he's into the paranormal, and that to me came out of left field. But I always thought he was a cool dude. So what is your?
I guess he's had that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
We just didn't know it. You didn't know it, Yeah, Matt is. I love Matt. Because even I'm probably going to get some negative stuff for saying this, but I'm a fan. I like watching. I know he's over the top, but I did go to see him when he was in Rhode Island, in Providence. But when I used to watch him, beyond all of the rhetoric, and his joking, which he's very talented, I saw a heart there, something so good I could sense in him. In fact, I told him that when I talked to him, there's something good about him. He does care, So, and he wants to do right. As I told him, I said the Conjuring House. I said there's a lot of history behind there than just the said conjuring, and he goes, I know. So
yeah, that's what I think was cool, is like, man, well, not only is he part owner of a location, but one of the more well-known locations on top of that. So that was pretty neat. That was really neat.
It was. The fact that he lives in my state is even neater.
Yeah, I liked him. And then they went to the Farrar school that Sam and Kobe own.
Oh yeah,
part of the investigation. I was like, oh man, he's really into this. Like I didn't know that he was purchasing with part of the team to own the museum. But to actually see him in that environment too, I was like, oh no, he legit liked it.
He liked it.
And he's a man of faith. He is. And and also I love Elton too. I got to sit down with Elton and speak with him at the Warren's house, and he's a really great guy, and he's really into it, and again, about preserving the legacy, and that's whatever they buy in the future, they will preserve legacy. They're not gonna try to really make it into just a cash cow. It's something to preserve what they love.
I can say it seems like they've done a really good job with the museum and the house, and you can tell watching Elton, he's really put a lot into it.
He has amazingly. So I can't say enough good, and not just because I'm involved with 𝗛𝗏, but just it's just they'll do good work. They'll do good. So,
well, Father Bob, so I wanted to ask you a little off topic, if you will, but since you do have this belief in spirit like us, what is your opinions on cryptids, like Bigfoot and etc.?
When I was little, I was fascinated by not little, but young. I was fascinated by all of that. Like the 70s was was a decade of all that in search of, you asked for it and all of that. So Bigfoot and UFOs and all that. I don't know, but I think it's fun to believe,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't discount, like, alien life. I am one that I love The Secret of Skinwalker
Or
Ranch.
Skinwalker
Skinwalker
Ranch.
Ranch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the show. And that has, for a long time, I poo-pooed that whole alien thing because of when they found the crop circle thing. It really dampened my spirits, so I threw everything out, you know. But now watching that has rekindled, and the church doesn't have a teaching, so I'm not going against any church teaching about alien life. We don't know. And in the Vatican and in Vatican City, they have an amazing observatory. So
Yeah. So going to that, your thoughts on aliens, since disclosure is a huge like topic right now. Good, bad, ancient beings, both. Like, what are your thoughts?
yeah, I don't know. The possibility is there, and if we find it, then that's fine. I mean, we have a vast universe, and who knows what God has done on other universes, but I still think Christ is the universal king even of that. So that I don't have I don't have a problem with that. With this thing about the drones, I'm sorry, no one's going to tell me that some of those were not aliens, because it was all over the world. They were saying it was the military and all that baloney. It was France and Italy and Portugal, all over the place. So some phenomenon was happening,
Yeah.
and I got to say, it was exciting to follow. It was very exciting.
Our very good close friend Joe, stick around to the end, buddy. He asks, is it all connected? Ghosts, cryptids, alien life?
The only thing I could
I think.
Father Bob.
Hi.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens now and then.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know how closely connected, but yeah, I don't know. I think they can all be united in the fact that they're above the normal, paranormal. But I think personally that they're in their own right also. Unique.
So because of the internet, Joe said that the government's blocking you from talking.
Oh no. It's just
Hey, I wouldn't. Hey, nothing surprises me when it comes to all that.
It's the snowstorm.
The snowstorm.
That was all contrived, so I couldn't come on your show.
Yeah, for real.
Tried.
Before we wrap up, I would like to ask you if there's any parting words that you would like people to know, or would you like to say to the audience?
Yeah, I think I would say that, first of all, believing in the spirit world does not conflict on our faith as Christians, and for people to know that investigators are not doing something that's forbidden, that there's a difference between conjuring and investigating, and people have to understand that, and so not to lump us all together with that. And for investigators, please be people of faith. Find your faith and ground yourself in it before you do this, because if you're going to do it for a number of years, you're going to run into something negative at some point. You need to be ready for that. So when you're investigating, be people of faith, and please pray, because you don't know what you're going into.
Yeah, that's good advice. Solid advice. I like that.
Yes, thank you. Father Bob, I really do appreciate you spending your time with us, and we know the snowstorm that's going up there. But you can take notice in the fact that the Patriots are going back to the big game, right?
It's a sign. It's a sign.
And I know Jen and I, there's a bunch of stuff that we didn't even get to
That's okay. I'll come on again.
We're going to be picking. Oh well, thank you for that, and we definitely will be picking your brain when we see you in person in a few months.
Definitely.
Oh, I look forward to it.
You in person and talk to you.
We'll drink a hurricane together.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
There you go. I'm buying. I'll buy you one. There you go.
Okay, you got a deal.
Awesome.
It was great talking to you guys. I'm so happy that I came on.
No, thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
And where can people find you if they want to contact you and connect with you?
Okay, it's www.𝗛𝗪𝗀
Perfect. Well,
and they can look for me on Facebook with the Father Bob and Holy Sword. Pretty soon I'm going to be revamping another Facebook page for the Holy Sword, but that's coming up.
Awesome.
Okay, good.
Well, yeah, we definitely will keep touch before either in person or to have you back on and talk about the workbook. Hopefully by then the workbook
I hope
on that.
Yeah,
I hope.
I love that. Yes, I think you did. Apostolate. Yes, you did.
You got it. Yeah, I think that's the right way.
Did he spell that right?
Let me see. No, it's APOST. With the I it'll be an O.
Okay.
Okay, apostle.
Yeah, apostle.
All right.
There you go. There you go, Mod V. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Well, Father Bob, thank you very much. Yeah, if you have to go ahead, and thank you very much for spending your time with us.
Oh no, it went by really fast.
Yeah, it does go by fast.
Really fast. Well, there were good questions and good, it goes by fast when it's like that. So
excellent.
Stay safe this week. Stay dry. Stay bundled up.
Yes,
I will. And go Pats.
Go Pats.
Go Pats. I'll say it for you, but then after I'll be like, go Seahawks. No.
Oh my gosh.
I'll keep in touch with you. Okay.
All right. Great to talk to you. Take care.
Have a great rest of your night.
Have a good night.
All right.
So, guys.
Folks, thank you for tuning in. Father Bob was amazing. Getting to meet him and get to learn from him. He knows a lot, But now to wrap up this show, we will be doing jumping on to our very good friend Joe's Greetings from Florida show. Jen and I will be a part of the next couple episodes. So please support our friends just like you support us. Thank you. And check out the Greetings from Florida podcast. It's an amazing show, not because he's a family friend of ours, but I've literally listened to every single episode. It makes my workday a little bit more easier and bearable. And you get to learn some weird but cool history from the state of Florida. And like I was saying, the next couple of episodes is with us, and we're going to be talking about the spiritual capital of the world, Cassadaga, Florida. So tune into that. The episode will be dropping Tuesday, I believe.
Yes, Tuesday. And like the work that he puts into these podcasts, the sound effects and everything, guys, you guys are going to love it. Like, please check it out. It's amazing work.
Yeah, you will see his progression from like the beginning to like nowadays. These are awesome. The little sound effects, like whenever it's like somebody like stepping, you hear the step noises. It's super cool. So tune into that. If you guys haven't yet, Wish Joy.
Spotify. I listen to it on Spotify.
It's on Spotify is where I listen to it. Yes, Joe is an amazing storyteller.
Yeah.
If you haven't yet, if you get a chance to on the socials, wish Joy an amazing time with her family. Yes, the part 2 will premiere on Tuesday, so tune into that. And I hope all you guys up north, storm goes by quickly, so you guys can remain safe, and you get to come back to us next week. All right, we'll be back on live with another amazing guest. But as always, please remember, if you want to get spooked, hit that notification bell, the like button, and please feel free to comment on this episode. Tell your friends, tell your family, watch Spook Coast to Coast. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Peace.
Rise above fear, guys. Peace out.